pull some hair from the back, you know, don't want to look like a bold fucking egg. Good evening, friends, and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new, welcome to my face. I know I said I was going to do consistent content, but you know, life happens. But we is here, we is today. If it looks like I'm wearing the same thing, it's because I am. Why? Because I'm pre-recording. Why? Because I'm busy, alright? Okay. This video is going to be a review on the movie Malcolm and Marie. As you know, we're in the lockdown chronicles as per. So you know we can't go to the cinema. So most of my reviews are going to be from Netflix, Prime Video and Disney Plus. You know, rich bitch got everything. Malcolm and Marie is on Netflix. It was kind of like on the TL for a little bit, and I was quite interested because I was like, oh, everybody's talking about Malcolm and Marie. Like, I didn't know what it was. So I decided to give it a watch. You know, this review is actually coming out quite late. Like, I watched it on Valentine's Day evening. Yeah, I did. It was so cute. I had a cute little date set up, but I didn't take pictures because we were flipping tired. Obviously, COVID safe, you know. My boyfriend's part of my social bubble, okay? So mind your business. Malcolm and Marie follows two young creatives, or a young creative couple, who the man of the relationship, he got some sort of award. Basically, he made a film based on his girlfriend, who is the other partner in the dynamic in the couple. He made a movie kind of loosely, probably mostly based around her life. And at the beginning of the film, we see that they've come back from some sort of Hollywood event, film premiere situation. And basically the whole film goes over one night. And anyway, we'll get into my thoughts. But oh my god, I didn't even do my let's get into, you know what, it's the intro will come when the intro comes. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is what it is. But yeah, so basically that's the premise of the film. We just have this really long discussion in black and white of this couple kind of going through the ups and downs of their relationship. It's kind of an argument, it's kind of a discussion. I think it's mostly an argument, but you know, it is what it is. It is written and directed and produced, or you know, co-produced or whatever, by Sam Levinson. Do you see why I don't find out these things? Because it's like, I don't know how to say people's names, like that's weird. But him, and it stars Zendaya and John David Washington. Because I was like, I just kept calling him John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Because band's in it. But yeah, let's get into my opinions because yeah.
Every time I take a draw, that's a mind out. Done it all time, play with since lights out. I'm just trying to make
acting, direction. Things I liked about the film. So I really loved the cinematography. I loved that it was filmed in black and white. You know me, I love a unique, interesting way of like portraying cinema. You know, I'm a theatre head, so I like when things are done in a really interesting way that engages the audience, you know, in a different way. I know some people didn't really like the black and white thing. They're like, oh my god, it's boring and that, which I understand. But I quite liked it because then it kind of forced the actors to, you know, express emotion. It was very much like film noir, you know, like where's really heightened emotions and things like that. And I think that kind of relays itself or exists in the script as well. And that's kind of part of the reason why the script is the way it is, because it's so hyper dramatic and it's filmed in black and white, so it's kind of like that era of film and follows those kind of tropes of that traditional film style, if that makes sense. I also feel like doing it in black and white makes it different as well, and I think that I quite appreciate when artists explore in films and explore in TV and explore in theatre. I love when an artist is like, you know what, I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to do something that isn't done as common, and I want to try and do something new. Like, I want to try and think different and see what happens. And I can respect it, and I quite enjoyed that aspect of the film. I would say that the text was okay. Going back to the whole film noir thing, like, it's quite exaggerated, which is why there was a lot of shouting. when you go back and watch a lot of the black and white films, like because it was filmed in black and white and there wasn't any sound, they had to do really heightened emotions, and so like the script kind of lended itself to that style of film. I don't know whether it was intentional, but that's what I picked up. I could be wrong. I really thought the text was okay. Like I felt personally, and I had put a post out on Instagram asking people's thoughts on Malcolm and Marie. One guy had said that it would have been better as a play, and when I was watching it, I was just sitting there and I was turning to my man and I was like, it would be so good. This would be so good as a play. Like, this would be perfectly staged as a play, and I really want to get my hands on that text so I could play around with that, with those scenes, because I really feel like that would make an excellent two-hander play, really easy to tour. Like, yeah, defo. And I think the script also lends itself to like a play text. The fact that it's only set in one venue, I think that is very, I feel like it felt like it was a play that then they decided to turn into a film because of COVID. Like, literally, that's what it felt like to me. But I can understand, like, that's a very COVID safe-ish kind of film. So I feel like in the next year, these are the kind of films we're going to be seeing. But I definitely feel like it should be adapted for stage, because it is such a good, like, the script is very good for that, and I would be interested to see what would happen for it to be on stage. And also not set in the US, if it was set over in Britain and stuff, and like just playing with different kind of, you know, different kind of things. I'd be really interested to see that. I thought the acting was fabulous. I think Zendaya really impressed me. I didn't watch Utopia, and I believe that Sam, the director, writer, producer, he also directed or wrote or had some sort of part in Utopia, so they had worked together before. But I hadn't seen much of his work. I haven't seen Utopia, and the last time I saw Zendaya in a TV show was Shake It Up. I haven't seen The Greatest Showman. Yeah, I think the last time I saw her was Shake It Up. So for me, it was really nice to see her like grow. You know, I've seen her out and about, but I hadn't seen her in like this kind of role. So I was really impressed by her acting. I love John David Washington. I think he's a very good actor. In his performance in this, I don't think was that strong. However, I have my reasons for that, and I'll talk about that later when we get into the, not the negatives, but the parts that I didn't enjoy as much. But yeah, Zendaya, top quality performance. Definitely, she deserves all the accolades for that performance. And I think it was a good film for her to be in, and a good stepping stone in her career for her to then continue to do these adult roles and come away from Disney Shake It Up. Do you know what I mean? Because like me, I didn't know that she had been in a lot of other kind of adult roles. So it was really nice to see. Overall, in the things that, to kind of come to a conclusion with the things that I enjoyed about the film, I would say that I don't want to sound like a bitch. Like, I don't want to sound like a snob. And I said this to my friend on the phone, and she was like, I'm not gonna lie, it sounds a bit wild. But I feel like the film is an acquired taste. I feel like it's a risky form of art. Like, I feel like I like a lot of weird things. I like a lot of, like, not weird, but like unique kind of styles of art. And I feel like this is one of those things. However, I can agree that sometimes what is risky does not necessarily make it good. Just because you've tried something unique doesn't mean that it's a good thing. So I can understand, which I'm going to go into in a minute, the kind of downfalls of the film and how that kind of, you know, makes it a bit meh. But I would say that personally, I think it's an acquired taste. Like, from the way it was filmed, to the writing, to the style, like even the direction style, I find that, yeah, I think from all of those aspects, like it's very acquired, and you have to kind of almost have the eye to appreciate it fully. But I'm not trying to be that art snob, you know, black clique, you know, I'm not trying to do all of that. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I'd say I enjoyed it pretty much. Now on to the things that I did not necessarily enjoy. The way in which the man's character, so John David Washington's character, was written, I found was written a lot, like the reason why his role or his performance was weaker than Zendaya's, in my opinion, is because the role was almost written kind of badly, in the sense that, you know, he's a narcissist, he's very much like selfish, he's very much self-centered and just a go-getter in his own right. But ultimately, what Marie was saying, or Zendaya or whatever, what she was saying made sense. I think that was also, it's what made his performance strong, but also what made his performance weak. Because I feel like the text itself, like what he was saying was bad. Like he was very mean to, Malcolm's character was very mean to Marie's. And if you're thinking of people in a relationship, like, I understand there's a lot of toxic relationships out there and people do speak to their partners like that. I mean, can't relate, but I do know it exists. But I feel like that kind of attitude, like the way that was portrayed, it was like her responses were really mad, but then I feel like that was what brought an authentic performance to the forefront. Because I feel like sometimes with Screen, and this is again partly why I feel like it'll be a good play, because with Screen I feel like everything has to be so kind of realistic but idealistic. You know, when you see the houses, they're usually big houses, or there's just extremely poor, or, you know, there's never just a real, very few real scenarios. I watch a lot of things on YouTube, like Cinemasins and Alex Myers, like What's Wrong With, and Honest Trailers and things like that, which kind of point out the problems in these things, but also talk about how the movie world or the TV world, the screen world, portrays the world in a really weird kind of rose-tinted glass light, whereas theatre is very raw and real. And this is why I feel like the script of Malcolm and Marie gives me very heavy on the stage vibes, because it kind of creates that environment. Like, you want to hate Malcolm. Like, you actively want to hate Malcolm because, one, he's being very mean to Marie, and she's right, ultimately. Like, you wrote this play about, you wrote this film about me, you've gone and casted this other girl, and then you don't even thank me for it in your speech. It's very trivial, but then when they begin to unpick his personality, her journey, his journey, and their journey together, you start to realize, oh, actually, this script is saying a lot more than just what is on the screen. Which is again why I say it's acquired taste, because it's deeper than just, oh, these two people are shouting, or oh, these two people are making noise. It's actually real life issues. You know, there's people out there like Malcolm who just don't even see it. They don't even get it. Like, they don't even see, oh crap, this girl has literally been here from the beginning of how I've written it. And even when Marie was talking about, but is this why you've stayed with me? Because then it becomes, when does art imitate life, and when does life imitate art, and when is life used for art and art used in life? And it's like she was almost questioning the whole relationship, because the mere fact that he didn't even thank her and couldn't even see how she was had such a pivotal role in the film until afterwards, after she brought it up, after she started moving mad, just goes to show the kind of person Malcolm is, in the sense that I would not be surprised if he got into the relationship with her just because of her story and because he could make the film, and maybe within that he fell in love with her. But aside from that, he in his mind, he feels like, I've put your story out there, you should be thankful. But in Marie's mind, it's like, no, but you put my story out there, so I can't do it anymore, and then you didn't even cast me. And I really feel like the text is very layered, and if you get away from the whole stylistic nature of it in the way in which it was filmed, like I said, the kind of exaggerated, hyperactive kind of vibe, then you get to the crux of what the text is actually saying, and it's quite strong. However, go back to my main point, I feel like Malcolm's character was very much on one level. Again, I was talking to one of my friends about this, and he was saying that Zendaya's Zendaya was giving, but that's because Marie's character was able to go on that journey. Marie's character was able to be the girlfriend, to be the supportive girlfriend, to be angry, to be upset, to be sarcastic, to be petty, to be, you know, she had a journey to go on in the film. Whereas Malcolm's character was very much like, I just want to beat. I want this argument to be over so I can have sex with you. I want this argument to be over because I'm tired. I want, like, his objective throughout the whole film was to just get the argument done. And although, like, there was moments in which he was kind of like, be appreciative of what I've done for you, it was more about exposition of the character in the story as opposed to him going on a journey in that night. I feel like he didn't learn anything until the end. And because of that, his performance seemed very weak throughout the most for the most part of the film. But I feel like that's because of how it was written, if that makes sense. And I feel like it would be nice to have seen him also go on his own journey, as opposed to us just get an exposition of the character and then, oh yeah, I get what you're saying. Because at the end when he's like, oh thank you, it's like, okay, finally you understand what I'm saying. We had to go through an hour and a half of argument for you to get there. But then I suppose, like, that's kind of what real life is like, because you don't just suddenly understand each other. You don't, you know, not every day do you go through a life-changing revelation in a night. You know, it takes time. But in this particular argument, he wanted to make his point, but also was like, oh, okay, I see where she's coming from. And also that thank you is very half-hearted, because it's like, do I actually mean that, or is it like am I just saying this again to just appease the situation, you know? So yeah, I think Malcolm's character was just a bit weakly written, and I think that's why John David didn't have much to go with, so to speak. Another thing that people brought up was that Sam and the production team were all white, but the actual film touched on issues to do with race, to do with critique, and like making the kind of like what Arinze had written in Misty, like the nigger play and that kind of thing. And I know some people had a few opinions on it, saying, you know, white creatives should stay out of black people's business and things like that. I don't really have an opinion on it. I think I'm starting to really think about art objectively. I'm starting to think that us as people just make the art you want to make and engage in the art you want to engage in. And if you don't want to engage in it, don't. You know, because people make art for themselves. And if you're too busy worrying about whether somebody's representing you effectively, it gets boring. But I can understand where people are coming from with that, and I'm like, okay, yeah. But I don't really think him as a white writer or director or anything really made a difference in that, apart from the subject matter in which what the film was based on. But you can tell that Zendaya and John David had some input in it to bring authenticity. But yeah, I don't really have an opinion on it. Like, a lot of people in my DMs when I did the Instagram thing was talking about it, but it is what it is. Like, by this point, just make the art. Like, we need to be the ones to make our own art. Like, we can't keep relying on white people to do it for us. Like, we can make the sick art and just get it done. Do you know what I mean? I understand we don't have, what was the budget? $2.5 million, but we could still do it with £10. I mean, look at Philippine R.M. Moses has never had, if you don't know who he is, he's like a British filmmaker. But he always says that he literally used his iPhone for most of his first films. We don't need 2.5 million to film something in black and white about a couple. Do you know what I mean? It's not a deep.
Hi guys, just to clarify, what I actually mean is that we don't necessarily need a budget to do these things, but it would be nice if black people did get budgets to do these things, if that makes sense.
Those are kind of my main thoughts on Malcolm and Marie. It was very interesting. It was very interesting to see people's opinions on it, you know, the arguments on Twitter, the messages on Instagram, and I really enjoyed that actually. I enjoyed hearing other people's opinions about it and then discussing it with them, and I'm starting to have like a nice group of people who will be like, oh, Andrea, watch this so we could talk about it. And I really love that. So you guys, shout out to you guys. You guys know who you are. Keep doing it because it's fun. I'm gonna say that it's worth a watch. I mean, it's nice. It's it's a good kind of dramatic thing to watch. Nice two-hander. Would definitely love to see it as a play. So I'm gonna end this video here. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think about the show, or on social media or whatever. Even message me if you ain't trying to have people see your opinion like that. I leave all my social media stuff in the YouTube somewhere, so you'll find it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you actually like the video. Hit subscribe if you want to see more of my face. Again, I'm not even gonna say content is gonna be consistent, because who the hell knows. If you want me to watch anything else, you want to know my opinion on anything else, please leave it in the comments below. Let me know your stuff, and I will see you guys in my next video. See you later, guys.
Oh wow, they be talking like the hella fly. Oh my, always making us some porky pies.